I also want to mention that today, the organization we're supporting has been doing great work for many years, trying to help with the ongoing crisis of hunger in America, most specifically with kids. You know, it's hard to believe that in the richest country in the world that we have children that want for food, even for a short period of time. It's a sort of unforgivable. But this great organization, No Kid Hungry, has been working for a long time tirelessly to do its best to eradicate that where it can. And so today I'm joined, before the show starts, I'm joined by the founder of No Kid Hungry, Billy Shore, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the organization, and hopefully he and hopefully I and can inspire you to give generously today. And we're also going to be joined by Citi's representative Jennifer. I hope I get this name right. Brighthop. Sounds. I think that's close. I don't know if that's how you'd say it. But hello, you both. Hello, both of you. Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Hey, Billy. And so I guess that my expertise, if you can call it that, has now run its course. That's about it for me. But I think I'll hand it to Jen first to talk a little bit about what inspired you to be a big supporter of No Kid Hungry and this organization, and what you're doing now and what we're doing now. And then I hope we get to hear from Billy as well. Hey, Jen.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave. And thank you so much for doing this and helping us to amplify and shine a light on food insecurity. Incredibly appreciated by all of us. So thank you. For years, the number of hungry children in the United States has been dropping as the economy improved and as No Kid Hungry helped schools adopt more effective meals programs. But sadly, however, 1 in 4 children in the United States this year could face hunger as a result of the pandemic. And as the outbreak closed schools, it also left millions of children across the United States without those healthy meals they depend on. And as we all know, it also closed a significant number of businesses, leaving millions and millions of Americans out of work and unable to afford food for their children. From our years of partnership with No Kid Hungry, we knew that they were well positioned to make a significant amount of change. And so we wanted to help them ramp up as quickly as possible. This March, the Citi Foundation donated $5 million, and Citi launched a $2 million match donation campaign to support No Kid Hungry. So I'm thrilled to be here with Billy Shore, who he and his team were responsible for making a significant amount of change and have a ton of things planned to help kids in need across this country. So Billy, I thought it would be great if you could share what you all have been up to and what you have planned to help kids right now in this trying time.
Sure, Jen. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything that Citi has done over the last almost 10 years to really help our organization grow and reach more kids. It's just been extraordinary corporate commitment and generosity, and we're so grateful. And now, right in this moment, Citi is matching every donation we get up to $50,000. So we're really grateful for that. And to Dave, I've got to say, you know, what an incredible opportunity to reach a larger audience through our work and your voice. So we're just incredibly grateful that the No Kid Hungry campaign is part of this. I think the important thing to understand about our work is that childhood hunger in the United States is a solvable problem. We know this, and even during this terrible pandemic, this is the most solvable aspect. When you think about everything else that we're concerned about with regard to this pandemic, there's shortages of tests, there's shortages of ventilators, there's concern about whether there'll be enough vaccines. We have no shortage of food in this country. And we have no shortage of food programs like school breakfast and school lunch and summer meals and the SNAP program. So our job is to connect kids to these programs that exist for them and to make sure that they have the resources they need. To do that, we spent $25 million in just the last 10 weeks. We'll spend another $35 million in the next 10 weeks to make sure that all kids can get the meals that they were counting on at school, even though their schools are now closed. So our funds are going for equipment, for personal protective gear, for transportation, for whatever it takes to serve kids outside of the school building. We know that a lot of American families are hurting right now. A recent survey and report that we just published called The Longest Summer talks about 47% of American families being touched by hunger during this pandemic. This is something we can solve. So would be grateful for your support. We'd be grateful for everything you do to help us make this a country in which there's no kid hungry.
I wanted to ask just specifically to make it easy for people to know how they can contribute, and where they can go and make their donations, so that it's as smooth as, so that what we're doing has as much of an effect as possible. Thanks for explaining what you guys are up to, and just if you could also tell people how they can help out.
Yeah, the best thing of all is our website, Dave, not a surprise, nokidhungry.org/city. That's where people have been donating. That's where you can donate, nokidhungry.org/city. And you'll also find on our No Kid Hungry website other ways in which you can volunteer, messages to send to your elected officials and so forth. But the dollars go such a long way. So nokidhungry.org/city.
Thank you very much. Hey, Jen, thank you so much for this, and thank you to Citi for all the help you're giving to this awesome organization. And Billy, thank you very, very much for explaining what you do, and thank you for doing it. And also thank you guys for letting us be part of being the helpers. I remember Mr. Rogers said, who I love with all my heart. I remember later in his life, in an interview, I'm sure it made it into his documentary, but I remember hearing him say, when there's a catastrophe, when buildings have fallen, or when people are suffering, or when violence has descended on people, he says, don't just look at the destruction, don't just look at the catastrophe. He said, look for the helpers. Look for the people that are helping, and find out what you can do. But also that fills your heart up, because that's because we're all a family. And so in order for us to succeed in just surviving and flourishing, we should look for the helpers. So thank you, both of you, for being those people. And please, everybody, if you can spare in these troubled times, these crazy days, if you can help out, and maybe you can volunteer. And there's nothing more enriching, in my opinion, than helping people that can use it. Pity is somewhat useless, but empathy and understanding really can help us increase all of our humanity a little bit. So please, I hope you enjoy the show, and please be generous. nokidhungry.org/city. Am I right, Billy?
You got
Please,
it.
everybody, jump in with both hands and both feet.